All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get started with chapter 8.5. This is the big one, guys. This is what we call factoring trinomials. Okay, so this is the big one. Okay, we use factoring trinomials a ton. You're going to see it again many times in Algebra 1. You're going to see it many times in Algebra 2. You're going to see it many times in geometry. You're going to see it many, many, many times in pre-calculus. Factoring doesn't go away. Teach me how to factor. Teach me how to factor. Everybody factor. Show your woo when you factor. So that's our goal for today. We're going to factor a trinomial in this form, x squared plus bx plus c. Can you guys see this all right? All right, so this is my product here. And I want to try to get these sums. It says complete the table below, finding the two numbers that give each product and sum. So here's the idea. Product. Can you think of two numbers that multiply to 20 but add up to 9? So let's think of all the factors of 20 and we'll circle the answers. So like we would say 1 times 20 are factors, right? Do those add up to 9? No, that's 21, right, when I add them up? So it's not those. 2 and 10. 2 times 10 is 20, but do those add up to 9? No. What about 3? 3 and anything? 4 and 5. Do 4 and 5 add up to 9? Yes, sir. So those would be my factors of 20 that add up to 9. Okay? All right, now, again, do for 15. We got to find factors of 15 that add up to negative 8. 1 and 15. Does those add up to negative 8? All right. 2. Does 2 anything? 3? 3 and 5? Those add up to positive 8, but do those add up to negative 8? No. So now we got to start looking at the others. If I have factors of a 15 that add up to negative, now we got to look at both negatives. Negative 1 times negative 15. Negative times a negative is a positive. Does that add up to negative 8? No. What about negative 3 and negative 5? Multiplied together gives you 15. Added together, does that give you negative 8? Yes, ma'am. So those factors would be negative 3 and negative 5. How we doing? Doing all right? All right, now we got factors of negative 12. What do you guys know about factors of a negative? So factors are two numbers that multiply together. That's going to give you negative. What do you know about these two numbers? What do you now know about these two numbers? Factors of a negative. What's a negative times a negative? Positive. What's a negative times a positive, though? Negative. So factors of a negative have to add up to a positive. They have to be one's a plus and one's a minus. So factors of negative 12 could be 1 and negative 12, right? Do those add up to 1? No. Right? That's negative 11 if I add it up, right? 1 minus 12 is negative 11. What about negative 1 and positive 12? Does that add up? Those are 11 still away from each other. Okay, so those don't work. So we look at the next one. 2 and 6. So how about 2 and negative 6? How far is 2 and 6 away from each other? What's the difference between them? 4. So it's either going to be plus 4 or minus 4. Is that what I want? No. So 2 and negative 6 and negative 2 and positive 6, don't work. What other factors are there of 12? 3 and 4. Is it 3 negative 4 or is it negative 3 and positive 4 if you add up and get 1? Which one works? It's one of these because 3 negative 4, negative 3 and positive 4, which one works? It adds up to 1, Lauren? Yes, ma'am. 4 minus 3 adds up to positive 1. Is this making sense or not making sense, y'all? Are we okay? Yes. Zoom in. Yeah, let's zoom. Because I am writing a little small. Let me make sure I can get it all on there. How we doing with that? Good stuff? All right, so factors of a positive that add up to a positive. Guess what? They're both going to be pluses here. Okay? Can you guys think of factors of 18? 1 and 18, 18 and 1, do those add up to 9? Can you think of factors of 18 that work without having to list them all out? Damien? Huh? 3 and what? Is 3 times 6 18? Is 3 times 6 18? Yes. Is 3 plus 6 9? Yes. Those are your factors, bud. Good job. So far, so good? You're all worried that you got it wrong. You're right, man. Yeah. Be confident. Yo, Mr. Gotch, it's 3, man. 3 and 6. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 plus 6 is 9. Yes, sir. Okay. All right, so I take a look at the next one. I got 25 and negative 10. So can you guys think of two numbers multiply together that give you a negative when you add them up? When you do factors of a positive, they're either both pluses or both minuses, right? So it's positive times positive or it's negative times negative. If it adds up to a negative, guess what? They both have to be negatives. Does that make sense, Ivan? All right. Can you guys think of factors of 25 that add up to negative 10? Yes, sir. Negative 5 and negative 5. Multiplied together is a positive, right? Two negative signs put together makes a plus sign. And added together, negative 5. If you owe me $5 and borrow $5, now you owe me $10. And if you don't pay, Andres is coming to get you. Right? Get my money. You owe me $10. I need my money. All right, questions? You guys good? All right, factors of a negative. What two numbers, positive or negative, positive, or negative, multiplied together is going to give you a positive number? So this guy here, yes. So my question is what type of numbers? Are there pluses, minus, or a plus minus? There's a plus and a minus here. Okay, now here's the deal. If it adds up to a positive, is the big number going to be positive or the little number when you add them together? If it adds up to a positive, yes, sir. The big guy, right? So the big number is going to be positive. The little guy will be negative, so that when I add them together, it's still positive. Vice versa happens on the other way. If it's a factors of a negative and it adds up to a negative, well, the big number is now negative. Okay? All right, so do we have factors of this guy? What are factors of negative 14 that add up to 5? Yes, sir. 7 and negative 2. Multiplied together adds up to negative 14, and now added together adds up to 5. Works out perfect. All right, last but not least, I got factors of 45. They add up to negative 14. So now think about this. Factor of positive are either plus or minus. Well, if it adds up to a negative, they have to be what? Okay? Yeah, they got to be those minus numbers, those negatives. Negative times a negative will give you that positive, but add them together, a negative and then more negative is even more negatives, keeps it negative. So now we got to think of factors of 45. This is where it gets tricky. Is it 1 and 45? Is it 3 and 15? Is it 5 and 9? We got to figure out what those numbers are. Who's got them? What are factors, Audrey? Ooh, I was looking for negative 9 and negative 5. Is that the same thing, though? Yeah, that was a joke. So it doesn't matter which way you write them, either negative 9, negative 5, or negative 5, negative 9, same thing. Okay, Audrey, great job, girl. Ivan, guys helping. Damien, you the man. Yes. All right. So we're going to use that idea as we learn to factor trinomials. Okay. I'm telling you guys, this is a skill that you're going to use over and over. The faster you learn this, the better off you're going to be for your upcoming math classes. All right. So first things first, foil. We're going to foil these guys. Firsts, outers, inners, last. Okay. Here we go. What's x times x? I'll do the FOIL in F. That's x times x is x squared. This is review from the last chapter. Now I'm going to do the outside terms. X times 9. We'll do O in this fuchsia color. X times 9 is just 9x, right? And now we're going to do our inners, the I in green here. 3 times x is plus 3x. And last but not least, we got this light green, L. We got 3 times 9. What's 3 times 9? 27. Okay. We're going to add our middle terms. So again, this is F, this is O, this is I, and L of FOIL. I'm going to put together the O and the I, right? And now I get x squared. 9x and 3x is how many x's? 12x. Remember, it's not 12x squared. So all you guys trying to do that on the test, we don't touch our exponents. If I have 9 apples plus 3 apples, now I have 12 apples. Bless you, not 12 apples squared. So there's my trinomial. Well, now the new thing is, we're going to factor this guy. Try to get it all on one here. I'm going to zoom out just a touch so I can get it both. Can we still see this now? So here's the idea, guys. We're going to factor the outsides to get the insides. We're going to factor F and L so that it adds up to 12x when you check your outers and inners of FOIL. Okay? So first things first, give me factors of x squared. What are factors of x squared? X and x. So I'm going to make 2 binomials here. And I put those first in both of them. So far, so good? So again, that's factors of your F. Now I look at factors of 27, your last term. And this is where you got to see what does it add up to. We want it to add up to 12. Okay? Well, factors of 27 are 1 and 27, 3 and 9, or what? Is there anything else? That's it, right? So which ones add up? Is it 1 and 27 or 3 or 9? Which ones add up to 12? Okay? 3 and 9. So those are your last ones. You put it in the last spots here. It's a positive 3 and a positive 9. If you did it the other way, if you did x plus 9 and x plus 3, doesn't matter. It would get you would get the same answer. Okay, both of those are right. So again, understand that that's the same thing as x plus 9 and x plus 3. These are equivalent. Okay? So I did factors of F and L. I always check it in my head. But so you understand, I check the nose and smile of SpongeBob here. You guys remember SpongeBob? I check my outside terms, x times 9. I call this the OI check. X times 9 is 9x. 3 times x is 3x, and now I add them together. Is that 12x? Yes. So I checked the outside and the inside added together, and that should give me what I want. If it doesn't, then I did something wrong. Okay? Any questions with that factor? We do factors of the outside that add up to the inside. All right? So, when the coefficient of the highest degree of term is 1, we will use what we call the puzzle method. Okay? I call it guess and check. Okay. Are you always going to be right on guessing stuff? Are you always right when you guess? Like, how old am I? Do you guys know how old I am? Gail? 39. No, not 39. But I like you, my buddy, because I am older than that. Guess how old I am? 30. No, I'm older than that. 55. Way younger. I don't like you now, Gail. 45. Less. 42. 40? Close. 41. Now, how many times did you guess there? Lots of times, and every time you're wrong, except until JP got it. So when you're guessing and you're checking, it's best to use a pencil. Because when you guess, you're not always right. Okay? So we're going to be doing a lot of guessing, a lot of checking. Okay? Let's see, what do we got here? 40. Oh, man. I was 40 last year, but I turned 41 on December 16th. Dirty dogs. All right. That was one of our last days together of last year. All right, gang. So let's go ahead and get this a shot here. All right. So we're going to look at our first term and our last term. And we want it to add up to our OI term. OI. So first thing is factors of a squared, or factors of a squared. A and A. Guys, those are my A's. I know they look like 9s. I'm doing my best and forgetting the rest. So I get A and A go in the first spots. Now I do 21. If you need to, right off to the side, what factors of 21? So if you need to, 1 and 21, 3 and 7, right? Well, which ones work? Which ones add up to 22? Does 3 plus 7 add up to 22? It adds up to 10. What about 21 plus 1? Does that add up? You betcha. So factors of 21 that add up to 22 are plus 21 and plus 1. Now, I guessed a lot of you guys are checking it in your head. I always like to check my outers and inners, the nose and smile of SpongeBob. This is the outers, this is the inners. So as I do my OI check, outside, A times 1 is A, 1A. Inside, 21 times A is 21A. Add them together. What's 21 plus 1? 22A. I guessed, I checked, and now I can box up SpongeBob here. Right? Don't make fun of my SpongeBob. You've got really skinny legs, right? You've got arms that... Is that good? Good SpongeBob? Does he have like a belt? SpongeBob was before my, or after my time, so I don't really know. He has a tie? A little tie here. Good enough? All right. There we go, there we go. Let's try it again. Okay, now again, I'm walking through this pretty slow, just making sure we got this. Factors of B squared, y'all. Yes, sir. Damien. B and B, yep. BB. Right here, those goes in the first spot. That's again factors of F. And L, we want them to add up to OI. All right, factors of 35. 1 and 35. What else? 7 and what? 7 and 5. Do 7 and 5 add up to 12? So 1 and 35. 7 and 5. Is there any others? Does that add up to 12? You betcha. And if you guys aren't good with addition and subtraction, use your calculator, right? What I'll do is I don't know what factors of 35. I'll start dividing. What's 35 divided by 2? Oh, that's a decimal. No, that doesn't work. What's 35 divided by 3? Decimal. 4, 5. Oh, 5 is 7. 5 and 7. What's 5 plus 7? Oh, it's 12. Boom. All right, factors. Check them. Outers and inners. That's 7B. Inners, 5B. OI. Oui, oui. Yes, sir. I guessed. I checked. There's Billy binomial. Perfect. Final answer is b plus 5 times b plus 7. I just factored that thing down. Okay. Cole, got any questions, buddy? Or you just... Okay. Any questions, y'all? Guess what? It gets tougher. It gets tougher. Okay, they're not all positive. Sometimes they mix in some negatives here, right? All right, we're in example 3. I got x squared minus 5x minus 24. We do factors of the outside that add up to the inside, the OI term. So again, factors of x squared are x and x. Factors of 24, look at this guy on the outside. Factors of 24 are 1 and 24. What else? 2 and 12. 3 and 8. Anything else? 4 and 6. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4 possibilities there. Now look at them. Factors of a negative, right, means there's two numbers multiplied together that give you a negative. So if it's factors of a negative here, this negative, then what do my two numbers have to be? Is it plus plus, minus minus, or plus minus? Plus minus. All right, so factors of a negative, one's a plus, one's a minus. Now take a look. I want them to add up to 5 or negative 5. So look at your factors here. Which ones are 5 away from each other on the number line? Is it 4 and 6? No. Is it 3 and 8? Yes, 3 and 8 are 5 steps away from each other on a number line, right? Well, we want it to add up to a negative, right? So which one's the plus? Is it the big one the plus, or is the big one a minus? The big one's the minus because it adds up to a negative, so we put this 8 here, and we put the 3 here. We guessed, am I right? I don't know. Only way to do it is check it. Oi, check your outsides. That's negative 8x. Insides, that's 3x. Yes. Add it together, that's negative 5x. That's what I want for my OI. My outers and inners should add up to that. I guessed, I checked, and now I can circle or box up the answer. Final answer is x plus 3, x minus 8, or x minus 8, x plus 3, either way. Doesn't matter. Okay. Questions, y'all? All right, so let's look at example 4. Factors of f and L. Do the outsides. I got c squared plus 2c minus 3. What are factors of c squared? C and C. Music factory. Factors of 3, negative 3, are 1 and 3 or 3 and 1, right? That's it. Now, if you have a factors of a negative again, factors of negative 3, again, one's a plus and one's got to be a minus. Positive times a negative is a negative, so this is a plus and this is a minus. Okay. So far, so good? Well, we want it to add up to 2, right? And 1 and 3 are my only factors, and they're 2 away from each other. So this is 1 and this is 2. This is 3, right? Check it. Check it. Make sure it's right. Check it. I check it. I got C times negative 3 is negative 3C. I got 1 times C is 1C. Add them up. What do you get? Negative 2C. So I did my OI check. Is that what I wanted? I wanted positive 2c, didn't I? So if you got the right number, but it's supposed to be the other symbol, guess what I did wrong? I put what? I put them in the wrong place. I got my pluses and minuses in the wrong spot, or I put the 3 and the 1. 3 should be positive, right? And 1 should be negative. Now, I guess I check. That's negative c, or 1c. That's 3c. Yes, that's 2c. So this one, I guessed, I checked. That's why it's nice if you have a pencil. Then you just got to erase and redo it. There we go. There's my answer. If you type in this guy, c plus 1, c minus 3. No, that's not right. All right, questions. All right, why don't you guys take a look at 5 and 6. See if you can't do 5 and 6. Note it says if problem cannot be factored, we write prime as the answer. Okay, like 7 is a prime number. We can't break down other than 1 in itself. So every once in a while you might find where you can't find factors of something, but that doesn't happen very often. Okay, so try 5 and 6 real quick. Again, do factors of your outsides that add up to the inside. Flag me down if you need help. Need help. Flag me down if you need help. You're already done. All right.
So which ones add up to 7? There you go. So factors of n squared are m and n. Right? So factors of 12 you said are plus 4, 1, 3.
Sure.
Looks good. We can check them. Outside is 4m, that's 3m, that gives us 7.
Good. Some of you guys are looking ahead. We're going to do odds for homework tonight on that worksheet.
Gives you about 20 questions to try tonight.
Let's go over these answers real quick. Damien, what'd you have for factors of 12 here? So factors of m squared we know are m and m. M&M's candy. What are factors of 12? 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. And you said 3 and 4? Plus 3 plus 4. I check my outside and insides. So you guys can check them in your head, but again, because this is notes, I like to write this stuff out so you can see what I'm doing. I got 4m for the outside term, and I got 3m. Yes, that's 7m. Okay? Yes, sir.
What if I put the 4? What if I switch the 4?
If you had 4 here and 3 here, totally fine. Okay? It kind of goes back to the idea of multiplication. 2 times 6 is the same thing as 6 times 2. So m plus 3 times m plus 4 is the same thing as m plus 4 times m plus 3. That's totally fine. Yes, sir. Yes. What are factors of 24, guys, that add up to 10? Andres, you got those or no?
Yes.
6 and 4. If you tried 1 and 24, that doesn't work. If you tried, 3 and 8, what have you, does not work. That's 4a. That's 6a. Yes. 10a. Perfect. All right, let's look at the next one, number 7. Factors of y squared, we know are y and y. We need factors of 15 that add up to negative 8. So factors of 15, 1 and 15, 3 and 5. All right? Now, if it's factors of 15, but they add up to negative, what do you guys know about these numbers? Yep. What's that? Close. I mean, you're right, but so if it's factors of 15 positive, right? It's either plus plus or it's minus minus, right? Well, if I'm going to add up two positives, that's going to give me a positive, right? And if it's two negatives, that's going to give me a negative. So both of these guys have to be minuses. So that when I multiply together, it gives me a plus, but when added together, it keeps it negative. Okay? Does that make sense? So that's your choice there when you're doing factors of a positive. You're either both plus plus or minus minus. Which ones work? Is it 1 and 15 or 3 and 5? 3 and 5? 5 and 3, either way. If I check that, that's negative 5y. That's negative 3y. Yes, that's negative 8y. So it works out perfect. All right. Last one. I got factors of d squared. I got d squared minus 11d plus 30. Those factors are, again, d and d. All right. Quiz or test, that's an easy point right there, putting the d's there. But now I got to do factors of 30. Okay, go back to this idea. If it's factors of a plus, they're either both plus plus or minus minus. If it's minus in between, then these both have to be minuses. Okay? Colton, you got them? 5 and 6. So negative 5 times negative 6 is positive 30. And then when we check our outers and inners, that's negative 6d and negative 5d. Boom. That's negative 11d. Works out perfect. So I guessed, Colton guessed, he checked. We got it right. You guys have any questions for me? Any questions? Okay. All right. So as I take a look, you might, see something like this. If you had like x squared plus 7x plus 5, something like that, and they ask you to factor this guy. Can I get your eyes up here, guys, real quick? Can you guys think of factors of 5? What are factors of 5? 5 and 1. Does 5 plus 1 add up to 7? So this guy does not factor, so we would call that prime. Okay? So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Any questions? It's not too bad. Do the factors of the outside add up to the inside?